Hi chums, another potato reveal. These are one called Charlotte, and they were planted on the 23rd of March. So these should have been out sometime around about July, but they kind of got ignored. So I'll just put my gloves on here and we'll get going. Oh, I just touched the wheelbarrow there. I'm just going to bring it back to see where we are. Sorry about that. I think that's alright. Okay folks, I just put the gloves on here. Hold on, what am I doing wearing these old horrible gloves? I'll wear my new Atlas Fit gloves that I got from the east coast of America, from a very kind gentleman called Scott, and his channel is Scottman B 2005. I'll put a link downstairs, and as you can see, look at that, that's my burn. That about a fifth of a second in front of steam in the kettle. I put my hand across the kettle, and that was a week and a half ago, and it's still not healed right. But anyway, as you can see, Scott, perfect fit, so thank you. Scott also sent me seeds for next year because I had mentioned that I liked a particular pepper he was growing, especially for the foliage, so he kept me some seeds, but he sent me some tomato seeds and stuff as well. And then he came up with an idea. Hold on, I'll just empty this out here. Oh. So Scott came up with an idea for something that neither of us have ever seen done on Youthways. Youthways was an old job creation scheme that I worked on 30 years ago. And it was very good. It was basically designed to help young people who couldn't get jobs or who couldn't get onto mainstream courses, or for whom there was no courses suited. The Youthways course basically brought them in. Somebody finally said to them in their lives, what do you want to work at? So then we got them work experience for 2 or 3 weeks, and depending on how they get on, they stayed there or they went somewhere else. And at the start there was great employment come out of it from the start, because there's loads of jobs then in the sort of early 80s, but then it sort of died off. But even within the restrictions that came through recession and all the rest of it in the mid 80s and on, when the economy started to shrink, they're still good. But go back to where we were. Scott has come up with a suggestion for something that we've never seen done before on YouTube. And see how YouTube Youthways are very, very close. So on YouTube, and so we're going to try this out next year. I'm not going to tell you what it is, it's Scott's idea, but that's just a wee teaser for you to keep you interested. So we'll bust this open and see what we've got inside. So these are Charlotte, which should have been lifted in June time. And there's the first one at the bottom, which are sitting in, it's quite damp, you see. But just to get it, there's quite a lot of moisture in that. So, and those potatoes are perfect. Absolutely nothing wrong with them. So I'll just keep talking here. I've got another couple of things to do here today, folks, because I was doing a bit of tidying up here yesterday. I have to make space to put all this compost somewhere. Now, normally I don't put the compost that I grew potatoes in, I don't normally use that in the greenhouse, because I grow tomatoes in here, and potatoes and tomatoes are the same family. But the problem is I have nowhere else to... Look at that boy there. That's too big, but he's absolutely perfectly sound and nothing wrong with him. So what I'm doing, there's one of the seed potatoes there. So what I'm doing is I'm emptying this stuff here in the greenhouse, and I'll just take my chances with it because I don't want to dump it, and my beds aren't ready outside for any more at the moment, and I've still got a lot of work to do outside, but the weather's been so bad I can't actually get at the thing, you know. There's another one of the seed potatoes. There were 3 potatoes put in this bag last March. So I had a very strange... Oh, see, yes, back to where I was. I'm cleaning out this side down behind us here, down on my left, your right. So I'm going to take the camera off the tripod eventually when I get this done, and I'll show you some other stuff that I found yesterday, and tidy up some loose ends basically, you know. Now this is not looking as good as I hoped. Charlotte are a pretty dependable potato, and they're usually The bags are pretty well stuffed. Well, I found mine were in the past, you know, but I'm not getting the results that I expected from the Charlottes. But I was talking to a guy last night. I was at a wood turning event last night. Watching the guy, he's very good. You know, we've all seen bowls made before. We've all seen little spindles turned, but it's good to go and watch somebody else doing it. Because I was watching last night, and I got the solution to a problem I'm having with a particular project I want to do, and the problem is actually chucking the piece up to hold it on the lathe. And I got a really good idea. I didn't get a good idea last night. I got the solution last night from watching the guy what he was doing with a similar piece of wood in the size I'm using, and the way he chucked it is exactly what I need to do. And rather than holding it in the chuck, I make another chuck to hold it. But anyway, back to where we were. I'm tidying the greenhouse up. So I'm trying to get space made, and I came across a couple of things yesterday I want to tidy up, and a few tail ends of things I did in the springtime when I was planting, and we'll get those all tied up and get some sense of resolution, you know. I had a very strange experience last week. Oh, this is one that I hope happens to you all, because it is really weird. I went to this wood turning demonstration in a place called the Woodshed in Templepatrick. If you want to look it up, it's www.wood-shed.com. Quite a nice easy address. And they do, every Tuesday night during the winter and spring, they do demonstrations. A turner comes in and does demonstrations. And it's just the local guys showing us what they're at and giving some ideas. And some of the guys, this guy that was on last night, has stuff going to a show in Atlanta and all sorts of stuff. You know, he's really good. There's the other potato. He's really good. But last week when the demonstration finished, we went in to get a cup of tea, which is a tradition there. And as I walked in to get my tea, this guy turned round and said to me, "If I said the name baking soda to you, would it mean anything?" And I was really taken aback. And I said, "Are you joking here? Is this a joke?" And he went, No. Are you baking soda?" And I went, "Yeah, I am." "How do you know?" He said, "Because I came across you in a video, and when I saw you walk in tonight, I hadn't been there for about 6 months, because they closed down for the summer in the woodshed, the demonstrations. And he said, when I saw you walking in tonight, I recognised you from your videos." And I was really taken aback, because that's the first time that has ever happened to me, you know. So, be prepared for being spotted, folks, because that's something that I never even thought. The thought never crossed my mind that somewhere in Northern Ireland, or Northern Ireland as we call it, Northern Ireland, and somebody would stop me and say, "Are you baking soda?" You know. So then I had to explain that the baking soda was what I had for my dinner that day, and I have still do a video on baking soda. I'll do that for you this week, maybe this week, sometime I'll get a chance. And what do you call it? A baking soda was what I had for my lunch that day, and I was absolutely fed up thinking of new screen names and names for sites and that. So I just said, what do they have for my lunch? A baking soda, so that'll do rightly. Right, so here's what we have, folks, in terms of potatoes. It's not just as bad as I thought it was. What have we got? We've got one huge one, and 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16 decent wee ones, and a handful of wee ones. So there's probably a couple of pounds, 2.5 pounds, maybe 3 pounds and that. I'm happy enough with that. There's a lot of dinners in that. There's one dinner there, you know. So how many you get? There's 4 dinners there, maybe, you know. So I'm happy with that. Now I'm going to gather these up and show you the next bit of the video, which is not to do with potatoes. It's to do with tomatoes. And I planted tomatoes in pots this year as usual, but I buried some halfway up the stem. Oh well, I kept burying up the stem, and the other ones I trenched. So these are, that one there is the Gardener's Delight that was planted straight up, and this is the Gardener's Delight that was trenched. And as you can see, the one that was planted straight up has more roots on it than the one that was trenched. So in terms of the pots, it looks like burying them straight down is the better for a Gardener's Delight. Now this is only 2 plants out of the world's supply of Gardener's Delights. So this is not what you call an exhaustive example or an exhaustive test. But wait till you see this one. This one here is luteola, which was in a pot, and you can see it. That's a fine mop of hair there, a fine mop of roots. But wait till you see this. There's the one. There's the ones that were put in trenched. So as you can see, they've gone along the root and spread out in a sort of a flatter fashion. These ones here were right down to the bottom, more like a jellyfish sort of thing, you know. But those ones were more like that style under the ground. They'd spread out and got quite a bit of length to them as well, you know, kind of breaking them off from a few feet away. So that looks like in luteolas, they seem to either does those. So I'm happy enough with that. And there's final one other luteola here. Oh. And you can see much the same as the other one. That was planted straight down. Hold on, no, that was trenched. That one was trenched as well. And as you can see, they've all done well. So really, it doesn't make a lot of difference, so long as you bury the stem. That seems to be the thing. Right. So take my gloves off. Those are good gloves, Scott. That soil is very wet, and my hands are absolutely bone dry, as you can see. So happy days. That's great. Thank you very much. These are the little things that happen. Well, it's not a little thing, it's a big thing actually, because when somebody goes to the bother of going and getting you something and sending it all the way from America, it really is a thrill, you know. It's lovely to get something like that. But the other thing is, it's sort of, you realise that the person you've been talking to online actually does exist, you know, and you get something from them. It's a nice side of you. It's a lovely side of YouTube, you know. Right, now, so that's the potatoes done and the tomato root comparison done. The next thing is Dale Calder's Japanese radish. There's a daikon radish. So I'm going to lift the camera off here now and try not to touch any buttons and turn it off. Right, Dale, here we go. There's the daikon radishes. Now, as you can see what I'm at here, folks, I'll just go down here. I haven't got this here cleaned up yet at all. That'll be later on today. But as I say, I just have to take my time at it, you know. But I've got that side done yesterday. It wasn't too bad. But I left those radishes, so I'm going to lift those today now, because I don't think there's going to be much more growth on them now. But we'll just pull them up and see what we've got. I'll just strew them in the ground first. There you are. So, look at the big long roots. So, look, I think that's fine. That's about 2.5, 3 inches long. What size is this one? Yeah, there's another one. Look, about 3 inches as well. Wee skinny one here. There's a little skinny long one, and there's another skinny long one. And oh, look at this one. This is, oh yeah, look at that. Isn't that good? But that's about 6 inches long, maybe longer. What do I say now? Have I got a tape here somewhere? I always have a tape here, because I'm always measuring things between the beds. And of course, the day I go to get my tape, I don't have a tape. What do I say now? I don't have a tape. Ah well, I'll say it's around about 6 inches long, and near enough, you know. But I'm happy enough for that there now. So as you can see, there's the 4 or 5 of them there. Oh, there's another one. I haven't got it yet. How do I see if I can get this by here? Oh no, I'm going to have to walk in here to get them. What do I see? It was hardly worth going for, but he'll get eaten anyway somehow or other. So there you go, Dale. That was well worth doing, I think. Considering I started so late, I think you gave me those in September time. So that's, say, the end of September I got those. October, November. That's about 6 or 7 weeks growth. So I think that's very good. They got no care whatsoever. They were put into fairly rich soil, but the water table here is very low and very high, sorry. So they had no problem getting down to water, and I just let them be. I didn't give them any surface watering at all, and they seem to have done okay. So there you are. I'll have a go at these tonight and see what they're like. So that's it. So there you are, folks. That's where we are. And you can see why I'm going to raise this up to about that level there, along that brick there. The same as I did on this side last year. And look at this. Oh, there is something else to show you. This is the marigold called Jolly Roger, I think it's called. Jolly Roger? No, it's not. It's not called Jolly Roger. No, it's gone. But what do you see this here? I haven't. One of the branches touched the ground. I'm going to lift it up. Look what I saw. Roots where the branch touched the ground. So it's sort of self-rooted wherever it touched the ground. I'm going to look to there's more roots in that branch, on the branch there. So isn't nature a wonderful thing? Any chance it gets, it takes it. So that's where we are, folks. And you can see the place is just awful. But I haven't been able to get in because of the weather. I've been doing other stuff, and I I should have been down here when it was raining, but you know, to be enthusiastic enough to get the wellies on and come down to do it is just beyond me sometimes. So there you are, folks. That's it. There's the daikon radishes. The tomatoes are sorted out. The potatoes are sorted out, and Scotland B 2005. Thank you very much indeed, Scott. That's very kind of you. And our little arrangement for next year, we'll sort that out later, and I'll do the other part of the deal then as well. Okay, so there you are, folks. That's it. It's a beautiful, beautiful day here. I'll just show you outside. It's cold. It's about 8 degrees centigrade in here and 41 Fahrenheit, but it's only about 5 outside. And as you can see, the sun's shining, which has been very rare this year. And look at my beds. My beds are just in an awful state altogether. But that'll be sorted out next week or so, or the week after, to give a few good days, so I'll get at it. But you couldn't even walk in the garden at the moment, it's so wet. So there you are, folks. That's it. All the best now. Bye-bye. And Scott, thanks very much again. That was very good of you. Bye-bye.